Shit.
That's a good start.
Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't immediately and right away recognize the return of the Muti. Live and in living color from New Orleans. Muti, what is up?
What other city would you want to be in but New Orleans, you know? It's beautiful here until today, actually. It's been 80 degrees, sun shining, absolutely stunning until the rain came today. But they need it down here, and they love it, and everybody's happy.
Good. Is Nana okay back there? A wild Nana appears.
This is when I hop in and fuck up Matt's intro. There's 4 of us in this fucking hotel room, and it's small. So
right. There's going to be some ambient noise. That's okay. We're full and ready and prepared for it.
Yeah, there's no ambient noise on normal weeks.
Right. Yeah. That kind of thing. You don't hear dogs or kids or
my wife threatening the both of them.
Yeah. Threatening to hang the dog from the ceiling.
And there's been some drinks.
Yeah, and some drinks. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to My Brother's an Idiot, the abbreviated intro edition, because I just had to launch right over to Milty right away because this is so fucking cool. Been too long since you've been on the cast, brother. We appreciate you. As you may know, I am Matt. I'm King of the Goons, and let me kick you around now. The rest of the squad, also in NOLA, gracing us with her presence. There for work, right? MJ, how you doing?
yeah, the rest of them tagged along for my fucking work conference.
I fucking loved it.
I invited them, but they walked around New Orleans while I had to do work shit all day for 3 days. But yes, I'm back. Hi.
Hi. Good to see you.
And I'm with Milty.
And you're with me.
So can you imagine anything better than that? To go to New Orleans to have a free hotel room and not have to work.
Right?
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I got screwed in this arrangement.
And the bitching will never stop. All right. Moving on, holding down the fort in Extreme Southern Command. He is the owner and proprietor of Knox Nostalgia Collectibles. Coming in off the bench, a little bit wounded in the old illness department. He's on his questionable on a report that Schefter released yesterday. Tank, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, late start on this one. I'm doing all right, coming off of last few days feeling like I'm swallowing pine cones covered in sandpaper, but I'm doing all right. I'm recovering.
That's definitely an image I didn't need. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Good to see you, man.
It's an image I didn't want to feel.
Right. And finally, rocking the Bug Lady shades. He is the man we've named the podcast after. He is the Kaiser, the Goldagoon. Is that the old Avalanche Nordiques sweater? Yes, it is. There you go.
That's not either of those franchises.
Yeah, that's the Colorado
Rockies. There you go. He is my brother, Goon.
And I am here. Figured I'd go with the original since, we've got the old crew back together again. All right. This is exciting. Even if it's only for abbreviated, I'm doing it. And I have done this once before on the podcast. I'm breaking it out again. The reason for the shades is because if it's after dark already somewhere, tonight I'm joining them. And I don't drink, so this is my version of after dark. That's the sunglasses look. I am after dark.
After dark with a hoodie.
That's
I like it.
Fucking right. Go Avs, baby.
All right. And more muttering from the Nana. Awesome. Epic. All right, let's get into the agenda for our intro. We've got something a little bit new. If you watched any amount of Monday Night Football in the 80s, you remember a commercial they used to run in the middle of the game called You Make the Call by IBM. And they would show a play and then ask you to make the call, show a couple commercials, come back and tell you what the call actually was. It was one of me and Milty's favorite bits of part of that. Like we'd sit there and watch it, go like, oh, this is cool. Which one is it? Talk about it. So what I've done is I have concocted 3 scenarios that are unusual in football. And I'll read you the scenario, or I'll tell you the scenario, and then I'll go around the horn, and you each will tell me what you think the call is. And I'm going to finish all of these with Milty because he knows more about the game than all of us put together. So I'm not going to give you guys any helpful hints by having Milty go first. Sound good?
I'm in. Let's do it.
Okay, here we go.
Death Star Ice, guns up. Let's do it.
Scenario number 1. The Raiders on 4th down punt the ball to the Packers. One of the Raiders gunners has the ball bounce off of his head because he didn't see it. So it's way up in the air, bounces off of his head. Packers player picks it up, runs for about 10 yards, is tackled. In the tackle, he fumbles. The Raiders scoop and score. Tank, what's the call?
Question. So, no, anyway, sorry. Frank, go first. I want to hear. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask a question too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why did it hit him in the head? Was he too close to the returner?
As he was running down, it was a short punt, hit him in the head.
Oh,
The Packers punted?
No, the Raiders punted.
The Raiders punted. Okay.
Yes, it bounced off of a Raiders player helmet downfield.
Technically be called down by contact where it hit the Raiders player initially.
Mark?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. The initial touching of the Raiders player, if he was on the ground, means that is where the ball is in fact dead. And none of the rest of it matters.
MJ?
Cheating on the Raiders. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I'm with it. Always. Cheaters! Cheaters! You gosh darn no good cheaters! Sorry.
Milty?
I have to go. I'm getting past shit here. I have to go with previous two guys. I think once it hits the same teammate that punted the ball, it's done. Play's over.
You're all right, and you're all wrong. The play's not done. So at the point of the initial touching by the punting team, the very worst thing that can happen for the receiving team is the ball is placed at the spot of the initial touch. Had the Packers players scored, they would have counted the touchdown. There you go. Ooh, is that a burrito? Look at the size of that burrito.
My wife loves me. Look at this fucking burrito.
All right. There you go.
Okay, that
Good
was
job.
fun.
All right.
I enjoyed that. Let's do it again.
Next one. Next one.
Stand up and oh,
What is
oh
happening?
my God.
What the hell is going
We're
on?
having a
over there?
reenactment of what happened yesterday.
Get off, get.
Oh God.
She's going to the bar.
Michelle's going to the bar.
Oh. Yeah, everyone else got I didn't. Me and her didn't get to go drinks. So she's going to get a drink.
Okay, fine.
But she didn't-
Go get one.
So she's
Go
going.
get some
Yeah,
Nola
yeah,
Strange.
great.
Whatever.
There you go. Adios.
She
All
didn't
right,
want to be
next
on
scenario.
camera, so she tried to fucking crawl behind us.
That makes sense. That's the disturbance. Gotcha.
There we go. Now we get it. Now we're on board.
All right.
All right, next scenario.
Here's another special team scenario. The Raiders kick off to the Packers.
Again?
It's a scenario. Would you keep the peanut gallery down back there? Good Christ.
You knew it was going to happen at least once. At least once. We should have put an over/under on that. Anyways,
Right.
Continue.
The Raiders kick the ball off to the Packers. Beginning of the game. The Packers returner, thinking that the ball is going to carry into the end zone, lets the ball go over his head. The ball lands at the 1-yard line, and because it's an oblong football, it actually comes back into the field of play, or back towards the field of play. Never actually went into the end zone. The Packers returner turns around, goes to jump on the ball. It rolls over towards the sideline, as he jumps on the ball, he simultaneously retrieves the ball and his feet are out of bounds.
Oh, okay.
Mark, what's the call?
I was muted because I was eating my burrito. I missed a little bit of that, but I'm going to say that the call is down by contact at the one and illegal touching has to be a penalty. So you've got a half the distance to the goal line. The team that is the offense will get the ball basically half-yard line with 99 and a half yards to go. Final answer.
MJ?
Cheating by the Raiders. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Also, that probably happened too.
Okay, so they haven't changed the waive rule yet, but if he waived it off, they can kind of make a decision there. But because he touched it while he's out of bounds, it's actually considered a kick out of bounds. So it'd be placed on, what is that, the 40-yard line?
But that doesn't apply if he touched the ball. If
It
the other
does.
player touched it.
If his feet are out of bounds when he makes contact with the ball, it's considered a kick out of bounds.
Milty?
It's at the spot. Receiving team ball at the spot.
Tank is exactly correct. It is considered an out-of-bounds kick, and the ball is taken to the 40 by rule. This actually happened in 2013 when Randall Cobb did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh.
He waited for the ball to stop, and it was still in bounds, and he stepped out and then touched it.
Mhm.
Wow. That's wild. Randall Cobb is
Yep.
smart.
He
He
is.
reads.
He
Okay,
does.
so I don't know
All right.
shit.
That's why it's unusual. Okay, final one. Broncos are playing. Fuck the Jags. Who cares?
You just changed the teams just because Nana called you out.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear about it. Again? Broncos are playing the Jags. Broncos are on offense. Over the course of a play, that's a passing play, there are 2 flags thrown. One for holding against the Broncos, one for illegal contact against the Jaguars. After the play, one of the Jaguars punches a Bronco, and he is thrown a flag. Tank, what's the call?
The first 2 are waived, and then the unsportsmanlike conduct is applied.
Mark?
I defer to Michaela for a second.
MJ?
Cheating on the Raiders. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So technically, I think it would be both of the initial fouls void the play out, but then the after the play stuff would add a 15-yard personal foul to the end of the run. Therefore, it would be 1st and 10 Broncos.
Bilty?
Yeah, I think I'm saying the same thing, that the first 2 penalties are offsetting and they will enforce the bad one.
I'm not running out of any burrito anytime soon. This burrito is going to be like an everlasting gobstopper. It's so good.
The correct call is that. Yes. Offsetting penalties, because the personal foul happened after the play, it is the one that is enforced. Had the flag for had the infraction for the personal foul been committed during the play, it all would have offset.
Yep.
There you go. Good job, guys.
Wow,
That's
that was
3.
fun. Let's do that again.
I'll start digging through all the unusual shit I can find.
Yeah, maybe not even necessarily just with football,
Yeah.
basketball shit,
Mhm.
That was fun.
All right. Let's
enjoyed
move
that.
on. Did you like it? I'm not sure. You're not making yourself clear. Let's move on to news.
It was a good time.
To news and results from the NFL. And I don't know if you watched it, and I certainly watched most of it. The Denver Broncos did not look very good.
Sack of shit game that was.
I'm just going to kick this over to Milty because I know he probably has some strong opinions here.
Well, before you do that, I do want to say you do know that I watched some of it because you know exactly how much I watched. We were sitting right next to each other.
I'm aware. We didn't make it through the whole game either. It was too goddamn hot.
Fucking so hot in those seats. Yeah, but I want to hear Milty's take.
Yeah. Milty, Russ didn't look very good. What the hell happened?
You could say a lot of the team didn't look very good. So I will start with defensive coaching or lack thereof. I don't understand why. I have to restart. I don't understand why we have to put up with this Vance Joseph garbage that we had him as a head coach, right? Once in the past. I don't understand why we had to bring him back as a defensive coordinator where he doesn't have a whole lot of success necessarily NFL-wide across the board. I'm at the point to agree with some of the prognosticators around the country that says, maybe it's time we trade out some of the talent and bring in some draft choices and let Sean do some of his own drafting. We got screwed with the Russell Wilson deal. We lost many draft choices. We lost players. And now then we signed the contract way too soon, right? We should never have signed that contract with Russell Wilson for $240 million. Last year, it should have waited till this year. And then they wouldn't have done it. So I'm all in on trading 4 or 5 guys to bring in maybe a number 1 overall. Screw you guys. Pick up whatever you want. That's my
No, but I have a question for you. I'm not going to pick on you as much as you think I am. But I do have a question for you. Is there anybody on this Broncos team that you see that is a untradeable commodity that you have to keep? Somebody that is untouchable if the trade offers come in, and all values being equal.
So that
do you keep anybody?
I've seen where it's come up, and someone has said that maybe Pat Surtain is untradeable, but I'm not so sure that maybe in a package deal of some kind that's not true. I don't know. Pat Surtain was a very high draft choice, but he can only do so much in the backfield of the Denver defense. A defensive lineman or a linebacker or maybe, a quarterback or something like that could affect the game much more. And I think that as much as anyone else, in a package deal, he is tradable.
So all odds being equal, a much maligned and much more not as great of a human being off the field. This is a pretty good comparison. You have Jalen Ramsey from the Jaguars getting traded for 2 firsts and a 4th. So if it's 2 firsts, I'm trading Pat Surtain. You need all the draft capital you can get.
Absolutely.
A couple of points that I'd like to make is yes, Russell is making mistakes, but the whole team is playing like shit. Russell Wilson actually had 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. 20 for 31 is not great, but he is statistically aligned with just about everybody else in the league, unless you're, Brock Purdy. Right? He's right there with everybody else as far as statistics go. I don't necessarily put this all on him. The offensive line has looked atrocious at times. The defensive line is either hyper-productive or non-existent. The only 2 exceptions would be Nick Benito and big dumb farm boy. What's his name?
Allen?
Jared Allen. They're big dumb farm boy. Allen. Yeah. Well, Zach's. Yeah. Jared and Zach. They're buddies.
Yeah.
Not related to. I agree with you, Milty. I think it's time to maybe put one more good fight in a rivalry-ish game and see what you've got. And if you lose as bad as the line states, or more, then it's time to blow this motherfucker up, and everybody is tradable. Unfortunately, you're going to be able to keep Russell Wilson because nobody wants that deal. But I can see a lot of draft capital coming in.
Well, absolutely, and I'm not trying to blame it all on Russell Wilson either. And I realize that the offensive line has not lived up to what they brought in, the two different guys, the guard and the tackle they brought in and signed to big contracts this year, as well as Garrett Bowles, who had another holding penalty. But and I don't want to blame it all on him. But the problem is that Russell doesn't have any protection.
He has no help either on the outside. The best production you're getting is out of a second-round draft pick. The guys that you've spent a high-round draft pick and you have signed to multi-million-dollar deals are either not playing. You know, Tim Patrick is hurt, and that's unfortunate. But Cortland's not doing a fucking thing on the field.
Right.
He looks awful. And Jerry Jeudy is doing more off-the-field damage than he is anything on the field. Both of those guys are no-shows as far as I'm concerned.
Cortland had, 2 fumbles in one game a couple of games ago?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put it all on Russell Wilson. I'm trying to put it on maybe management for signing that contract a year too soon, because they never would have signed that deal after last year going into this year. And they could have gotten out of it. But it's such, obviously, everything is flawed.
Agreed.
Tank, what do you think?
I agree. I don't think anybody's untradeable on this team, really. I think if you go for less than, I think, multiple picks, including a first round for Surtain, that's a bad move.
2 first minimum.
That's what I'm saying, because it's basically a lateral move at that point at best. You know, with his talent to basically cover half the field when he's schemed properly, you can't lose that without getting something in return.
And he's in a rookie deal.
Exactly, especially he's on a rookie deal. I think Russ, weirdly enough, is tradable. I think there's a couple teams that might be interested with Russ. Some run-heavy teams that don't have a quarterback that, you know, is doing shit right now. Because I think that's what he needs more than anything at this point. He needs a run game so that when he has those streaky moments, which he's always had in his career, where, you know, he's not necessarily on top of the ball like he should be, which we saw this last game, he has a team behind him that can move the ball still until he gets back into his pattern of, you know, actually being good at it. Jeudy, I think, will get us high draft pick because the skill is there, the talent is there. We're not utilizing him in a way that he's going to be happy, and sending him to a team that would more likely do that could be beneficial to us. We're not going to get anything for Court. He's going to be a cut next year, I think. And we're just going to have to eat that, unfortunately. But yeah, we have enough young talent that's getting some interesting experience, whether or not it's successful or not. They're getting some experience, so maybe that's good for the future with all these, you know, the need for a lot of the younger talent to, you know, play a lot more than they intended to. Could be good in the long run. They need to get rid of Vance Joseph. That his scheming is so incredibly ineffective that it's absurd. Everyone's like talking like we got rolled by our former coach here.
Yes.
And no, they went, how terrible were they in the red zone? They had 2 touchdowns in this game. One was defensive and one was a 60-yard run or a 72-yard run. That wasn't Nathaniel Hackett beating us up. That was a defense being out-schemed and then getting into the red zone and shutting down a shitty offense. That's what that was. And there's a lot that needs to get done, and there's a lot of draft fodder on the table, I think. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got rid of a lot of talent in the next couple months, to be honest.
Trade deadline is Halloween.
October 31st,
I'm saying we're probably going to cut a couple people too, just so we don't have to pay them.
No, I hear you.
As much.
I need to grab a fork for this burrito, so I want to hear what Matt has to say.
I was going to kick it over to MJ.
Oh, MJ, go.
So I think that
The Avalanche might win tonight.
Ben is answering for me apparently.
Yeah.
I think
Do
we
you
can try to convince.
Just move her to the end of the bed. Just bring her in.
Slide over. Slide on over.
You don't have your second blanket. How
I do. It's right there.
There you go.
There you go.
eliminated? I say we convince the Patriots to take Russell Wilson's fucking corpse and just kind of like weekend at Bernie's it around the field for a little bit because that's got to be better than Mac Jones at this point. And I say we trade everybody except Pastor Tan because I think we can build around him. But I don't know that much. I'm gonna be honest. That being said, I am going to. No, I hold off on that. Never mind. Continue with your statement, Matt.
I agree. I think everybody's on the table for the right compensation. The news and the word coming out of Dove Valley is they're not making calls, but they're taking calls. Well, everybody takes calls, but anyone who actually is looking at this thing objectively knows that that's probably a lie. You don't want your players to know that you're shopping them, else their perceived value will go down because they're not going to try as hard. And then next thing you know, then at the last, your most important film is your last film. Right.
That's why I thought Jerry Jeudy would get 20 catches in the game against the Jets.
Right. You had 4.
Right.
Tank, you kind of contradicted yourself a little bit. You know, it's not a scheming issue. You said it yourself. They only scored 1 touchdown, and it was a big play, and it was perfectly blocked. I mean, you or I could have gotten 10 yards off of that play.
That last drive was showing that Vance Joseph just doesn't. He's getting out schemed all over the place. They drove all straight down the field.
You're giving up 200 rushing yards a game. That's a scheming problem.
That's bad.
That's not scheme. That's lack of talent. And I've said it since the beginning of the year. They're just not good. You don't have a defensive line. Mike Purcell is my age. Your defensive ends, when they're allowed to rush, especially early in the game, are relatively effective, but you've got nobody on the back end. Alex Singleton does not look like what he looked like last year. Josie, thankfully, is back, but he doesn't look anything like prime Josie Jewell. The other corner is awful. Damari's a rookie, and he's going to get torched left and right. That's just going to happen.
He looked a lot better in this game, though. He looked a lot better in this game.
He did look better, and I think a lot of that was in run support. He was tackling really well.
Yeah.
That's also a competition gap. They didn't have a second receiver to beat him up.
But still, he just looked like everything was in front of him this game, and that was the first time I've seen that this year.
Right. They just don't have any defensive talent to speak of besides Surtain and Allen, to Mark's point. And we said it a couple of weeks ago. I think there's only 2 guys on this defensive team who could start other places, and that's it. And it may be 3 with Justin Simmons now, if he's truly healthy, but a hip. Those hips are tough, man. But Demarius fought a hip for 2 years and couldn't turn left, but still played. I don't know if I don't know what you're going to get for a Jeudy or a Sutton. My thought is,
4th or 5th rounder, maybe.
I think it's a
Jeudy.
4th. I think it's a 4th or 5th for Jeudy. Maybe you could get a 6 for Court because there is value in a veteran receiver, a possession guy in a different system. Maybe a change of pace. There was talk today that maybe he could go to Houston where they could use another possession person. He's got roots there. Be an instant fan favorite. You know,
Jerry Jeudy is following a lot of Carolina Panthers now.
That would make sense to them, and we could actually probably swing a good pick out of them.
Just saying, he's already started.
Yeah, who knows? And the other part of this is the play calling wasn't all that great here. And Sean Payton admitted as much in his presser. He said, I got away from what we should have done. I got impatient. I should have stuck with the run. They only ran the ball 15 times. And
McLaughlin looked
Jameel
great that first
McLaughlin,
series.
holy
Yeah.
shit, that kid is good.
let's get that kid some touches, not 7, right?
Yeah.
That catch.
Why are
on
we
the
forcing
screen.
Samara JP right down our throats?
He's a better blocker. That's the only reason.
Yeah, he does. And he does pretty well in pass pro.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking, I mean, he can't block 4 guys when they're all breaking through, but he can get one.
Yeah, and McLaughlin's still too. He misses blocks still.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
and
but we're
he's
talking about
diminutive.
pass protection when we should be running the ball more.
Right.
So
True.
self-fixing issue.
That does fix issues. Yeah.
It does.
Just
So
saying.
they got to get better on the play
Sometimes.
calling side. They got to get better on the execution side. I think we're all on the same page that this team's going to look different 3 weeks from now than it is currently constructed.
And even
Absolutely.
a year from now, I think you're going to have massive turnover come next year.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. The one thing to take away from this game, it was the first time to actually see a full game because I don't ever watch Jets game. Breece Hall's really good.
He
He's
is.
fucking so good. Holy shit.
He makes Dalvin Cook look slow. Now, Dalvin
my
Cook
God.
isn't the Dalvin Cook of 4 years ago, but Tank Breece is something else with the football in his hands.
Yeah, it pissed me off that they weren't letting him play, so I ended up dropping him.
Hmm?
Because he
I
wasn't
picked him
getting any
up. Thank
touches.
you.
An asshole over here picked him up and beat the shit out of me with him this
Oh,
last
I
week.
smoked him. Nobody cares about your fantasy team, but I fucking kicked Drake's ass
he
by
beat
like
the
50
brakes
points.
off me. I had nothing. McLaughlin did good for me on the few touches he had. But yeah, Breece is. I don't know why it took them so long to figure it out. He is that kind of a player that, like, let him just do what he wants to do. Give him the ball and let him make shit happen.
Right.
I did not see the final score of that game. That was nobody cares about your fantasy team. I beat him by 73 points.
Good
Yeah, it was
Lord.
bad.
Milty, what do you think about Breece Hall?
You put me on the line here.
The
Okay.
Jets
The
running
guy's
back.
fantastic, fast. You know, what can you say? And probably didn't see it coming.
Mm-mm.
Well, you know, his second year in the league, he's coming off an injury, so he's kind of an unknown quantity, but
Right.
he is super explosive. MJ,
There's
do you
no
have any
doubt.
thoughts?
The Toronto Maple Leafs changed their goal song. They no longer have that Hall & Oates song. They now have a song by Kid Cudi, specifically the Steve Aoki remix of Pursuit of Happiness.
That's a
So now
terrible
mom
change.
no longer has to fucking bitch about the Hall & Oates every time she hears it.
Oh, but I like the Hall & Oates.
All right.
Michelle's back from the bar, huh?
Yeah. Oh, you missed her coming back through the camera shot when you were getting
Uh-huh.
something for your
Yeah,
burrito.
she rose through real quick.
Yeah.
Also, I think
Reese Hall.
Breece Hall & Oates.
Wow. Wow.
That was tough.
C minus. C minus at best, Milty.
See my
That's what we've been dealing
Not your
with.
best work. Not your best work.
Let's move on to other results in the NFL.
We're dipping.
What?
We're dipping.
Oh,
Goodbye.
you're dipping? Okay.
Say
Adios.
good night to your
Good night.
father and your mother and your sister.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, fam.
Yeah,
We love
later.
you.
Have a good night.
Love you back.
Love you.
Travel
Adios.
safe tomorrow.
We will. You guys
Head
have
flaps for
good
everybody.
times.
Flying tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Let us know if you have head flaps.
We will let you know on flap status.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Flat status, huh?
I should have
Michelle
known.
with the Jesus Christ.
I should have known that Nana was going to be in there and couldn't keep her damn mouth shut.
I was just very glad that,
was funny.
it stayed at like a PG level.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
It wasn't an accidental, we were good. We were good.
Wasn't an accidental boomerism.
Oh my God. That's happened before, Tank. I'll tell you about it
has.
later.
Oh, yeah.
Remind
Yeah.
me, write it down, put a pin in it. This is a great story, but we're
Oh,
not
yeah.
telling it here.
No, you're not.
Yeah, but yeah, you smoked the shit out of me this week. 2 of my guys went to IR this week,
Nice.
including my starting quarterback and the number 1 receiver in the league.
I hadn't won a game until that one. I was 0-4.
Mm.
I didn't think I had a prayer against either of you. I know I lost to Bobby in the other league.
No, I got absolutely rolled, and then for some reason Joe Burrow finally had a decent day, and then Pittsburgh decided to throw the ball for once. So Pickens had a good day, and both of them were sitting on my bench. So
this is what's left of my burrito currently. You can't really see it.
Just there you go.
A little bit of burrito guts. All right, good job.
Big Ben Covington may have to make an appearance though because
you have to finish. You got to
Look
finish.
at that.
Cowboys.
No, that's not mine. This is
that's hers.
All done.
Okay.
Let's
move on to other results in the NFL, and I'm just going to read it right off the agenda. The Cowboys got bitch slapped, fellas.
Rolled by the Niners.
Who wrote that? That had to have been a Frank.
No, that wasn't me. Actually,
I did it.
That was the King Commander over here.
Oh, that was good. They did though. Holy shit!
They got fucking nuked by the 49ers.
I didn't think it was going to be close. I didn't think it was going to be that bad though.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be an ass whooping, but I'm on the same page with you. I didn't think it was going to be anywhere near that bad. Dak finally back on pace to throw enough interceptions that everyone's going to start talking about his interceptions again. It's amazing what happens. It's amazing what happens
today.
It's amazing what happens when you actually play a good team.
Oh, he had a rough damn game. That's for sure.
You knew this game wasn't going to be great when they lost to the Cardinals a couple weeks ago.
Well, and the biggest thing, the reason that they've been having really good games is when their defense is kind of backing up the offense, because the offense hasn't been super effective the whole year, to be honest. They've had a couple okay games, but it's been the defense that's been doing a lot of damage, and that offense got just destroyed against a good defense, and it was gross.
Very.
It was fucking awesome, if you ask me. But
well, no, I mean gross from
my dead grandfather really appreciated that stomping.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Paulie's smiling every time that happens.
Yeah, he's bouncing beer nuts off of Uncle Larry's head.
I wasn't going to say it, but you said it much better than I would. Yeah. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I think the question here, guys, is the great unknown. We don't really know how good Purdy really is. He still has this moniker of being a game manager, but he's got games where he's just really good, guys.
He's the number one quarterback in QBR this year so far,
and he
above everybody else.
Absurd talent. I mean,
no matter 9 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, something like that.
He has crazy ability. He has seemingly crazy ability that he just got completely misjudged for. But he also has probably the most stacked offensive talent right now in the league. It's absurd. He can go anywhere on the field with the ball and something good will happen.
I thought it was
amazing.
Probably the smartest thing that Chris Collinsworth has ever said was on that broadcast when he said that Brock Purdy makes decisions faster than any quarterback he's seen. I agree. The guy he knows what the ball is. Oh my God. That's what Russell Wilson should be doing with this offense. It's just reminded me a little bit of like a more athletic Peyton Manning, just the way he was able to just find the spots on the field where they were going to be so quickly. That's what it reminded me of. And I know I'm being a little bit of, hyperbolistic, probably a lot hyperbolistic, but his decision making is crazy quick.
Is that a word?
Hyperbolistic
or hyperbolic?
Hyperbolic's a word.
Hyperbolistic is now.
Hyperbolistic. Is that like
hyperbolistic sounds more weaponry related?
Yeah, it sounds like a
hyperbole. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it could be both.
Right. Hyperbolistic.
the way I say things.
I think we're also seeing what truly happens when a Shanahan gets all of his toys.
Oh yeah.
Right. That apple doesn't fall too far from that tree. Kyle is as good as a play caller as his dad. He's a lot more advanced because the game's a lot more advanced now. And I was going to mention Collinsworth too, Mark. He mentioned that they are using motion to get people open and dictating to the defense. That's something that Mike did all the time. He would dictate to defenses, and some of those throws were just you got to be able to make the throw, right? Yeah. Like
He
over
can.
the
That's
top
the
of the
thing.
linebacker, inside of the safety, and it's right here. It's like, good lord.
It's all timing routes. It's like, and it's fun to watch. You know, it's football at its finest, IQ, and it's fun and fast, and it's just a good time. I love watching their games.
Well, and he looks like he's finally getting some fangs about him, because I think that's the biggest issue he had is he let off the gas too early sometimes,
Yeah.
especially in Atlanta.
Oof.
And
Oof.
it looks like he's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to beat him until the game's over. And we're just going to stomp their guts into the ground. That's what's got to happen. He did not let off the gas that entire game.
28-3 is still a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the Bears. Anybody think the Bears are going to score 40?
I didn't think the Bears were going to fucking win. That's for sure.
I'll give you guys a little bit more statistics on this later, but there weren't very many people that beat us for appetizers this week.
Mhm.
So not very many people knew about that one, at least, you know. The same ones we got wrong, everybody did.
Okay, good. Do we think that Justin Fields is finally evolving into something that resembles a professional quarterback, or was this a flash of the pan mark?
He reminds me a lot of Jordan Love, who we'll see here in a couple weeks. Jordan Love, and you know, my wife called it. She said that he's really good once he figures out what's going on. It just takes him forever to do it. And Justin Fields has these moments where the game is in front of him and he can see everything. But most of the time, it seems like he's, you know, playing in the third quarter of last week's game for this game, and he's just not prepared. Now, against the Commanders, holy shit, what a scheme. And he looked amazing, right? And they made everybody else look good too against that seemingly daunting, you know, Commanders defense with the 4 first-round draft picks up front. They didn't look very good in this game, right?
No.
And that's the way Justin Fields is. It's kind of the way the AFC North is supposed to be built, or the NFC North is supposed to be built, right? A bunch of quarterbacks who they don't really matter to their team as much as the rest of the team is supposed to be team ball. It's kind of like the NFC, the AFC, you know, the big AFC, I guess. It's that cold weather football where the quarterback's not supposed to matter as much as the rest of the team. And Justin Fields is one of those guys where he'll have a good game if the rest of his team's having a good game. And Jordan Love's going to be the same way.
Oh, yeah, I think that's what it is. Until he becomes more consistent, I'm not going to say that it's actual growth. His team was set up to beat the Commanders, I guess is the best way to put it. They put them in the perfect spots, had the right play calling. They got DJ Moore just going bananas this game.
DJ Moore, holy fuck.
Lost a touchdown that he definitely should have had.
Yeah.
And yeah, he played out of his damn mind, and Justin Fields just looked like a superhero against this defense. And I think this defense is getting tired already, which is not a good sign for Washington.
No, not at all.
No.
Because that's supposed to be the strength of their team.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
it is, but they're looking tired already.
Right.
That offense is so damn
Not
ineffective that the defense is already getting worn out, and we're in week 6.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And final NFL results. We had another London game. The Jags played in London again. Can we just move them there, please? And just
Shad
be done with
Khan.
all this.
Shad
That would make Shad Khan so damn happy if they actually did that.
Shad Khan.
Is that supposed to be a Shaka Khan joke?
Kind
Yes.
of.
Okay.
That's why I just rolled right the fuck over.
I know.
Right.
I'm expecting that, to be honest.
Sandbag the shit of that thing.
But yeah, the Jags rolled the Bills, but it wasn't Josh Allen's fault.
No.
He looked good. The rest of the team just fell to pieces, especially on the defense.
Yeah, that
They
defense
lost
fell
Matt
apart.
Milano, and that defense just went to shit immediately.
Yeah, they
and-
fell completely
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah,
And
that was
and
awful.
they couldn't tackle Travis Etienne.
No, not at all. No,
Couldn't touch him.
He put some work on them in that game.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Well, we'll see what happens. What
But
is
yes,
that?
they should be moved to London. You're 100% right.
What are you doing? Put the bear down.
But that would be such extreme home field advantage that it'd be
All right.
like if you are playing in
it
that
is
London
now.
game, you need to go on Monday. Immediately
The NFL would love an all Europe division, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had that for a little bit. It was its own league.
Yeah, it was a developmental league. He's talking about a division of top level.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a whole 4-team division and move it over there.
That's what the NFL would like.
Is it going to be the AFC South because they're the ones that matter the least?
Right now, you're not wrong. We've got some injury news this week as well.
Fuck me on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost a few.
Tank, your boo, hurt his neck.
Yeah, I didn't.
Womp,
Womp. Don't know if we'll see him again anytime soon. For now, it's going to be the Tyrod show, I guess.
Again.
Did they bring up the one dude from the practice squad?
Right.
Because we know he's going to be starting in about 2 weeks after Tyrod breaks his leg. So
now he'll just get stuck with another needle and deflate a lung pregame.
Oh. Every time that I think about that, just think about how much pain and fucking panic you'd have,
right?
Like, I can't breathe suddenly. I need to do this.
Why does it feel like my chest is exploding? What's happening?
What's going on here?
You know that thing that requires me to live? Oh, breathing? Yeah. I can't do that.
I can't do that right now. Right. So let's keep the needles away from Tyrod in New York, please. The bigger news: Justin Jefferson has a hamstring and has gone to the IR, so he's out for at least 4 weeks here, fellas. What does this do to Minnesota?
Destroyed their offense completely.
They were pretty meaningless to begin with, and this pretty much cements them to the relegation league at this point.
Yeah, they're going to get rolled. They don't have another player on that team.
They got rid of all of their other players.
Their best offensive weapon outside of Kirk Cousins right now is Addison.
The fact that you have to say outside of Kirk Cousins, and actually,
yes.
Rumors are though Minnesota is shopping and hearing people asking about the availability of one Kirk Cousins,
especially a team that wears green and white in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There are people looking for help.
Yep. Could be a thing. Yeah. Dolphins
is out for at least 4 weeks.
Yep.
Probably longer.
Yeah, hamstrings don't ever get better right away. That's a tough one.
Yeah, even when he comes back, he's not going to be for a while.
Yep. Dolphins breakout running back HN has a knee.
That's sad, dude.
Right.
He was
looking so good.
Yeah.
Such a shock. It was such a feel-good story. Came out of nowhere, broke onto the scene, was just running over everybody, including the goddamn Denver Broncos.
That's what started this
tragedy.
Yeah. Spree.
Right.
Killing spree. And now he's got a knee.
Yep. Sad news there. A weird play. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Kelsey went down with a non-contact injury and then came back in the game.
Yeah.
And it's an ankle, apparently.
Yeah.
It didn't look like an ankle.
It didn't look like an ankle to me.
It looked like he hurt a knee thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought too, but they're saying ankle, which confuses the shit out of me.
Right.
We saw the play just on Twitter, and both Matt and I sitting next to each other at the game went, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
And then I was thoroughly shocked when, he came back for the second half.
Well, he
thoroughly
his
shocked.
Touchdown.
Yeah. Had to get his Taylor Tutty. Taylor Touchy.
I think you're accurate on the first swing.
Yeah, right. And finally, Anthony Richardson just can't seem to not be in the trainer's room. This time he's got a shoulder. At least it's not his head this time, fellas.
Yeah, but it's a shoulder also. That's not fantastic.
He needs to throw the ball.
Yeah. Partially torn labrum is what they're calling it.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, that's
so he's probably out.
Right.
Another 4 weeks probably at least.
Right.
No bueno
at all. We'll see what happens.
They need him. He was looking so good when he's on the field. Holy shit, that dude's dynamic.
Yeah, he is.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. All right, that ties up the NFL. Let's move into our newest favoritist bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're not done with the NFL yet, boys.
No, you got to get your list.
It is time for Pew Pew Pick'em.
Oh, by the way, I think I lost every single
Way
tie.
to take the fucking momentum out of
Yeah,
Wait
I
a
think I lost every single tie. Every single one.
you want to let him do his bit,
I was getting to that.
or are you just going to steamroll right over the front of it?
Yep. Right over the front.
Like,
Fuck it. Say it anyway, Mark.
Judge Doom at this point. Jesus Christ, getting run over by the steam. Second Judge Doom reference today. Just wanted to make sure that got
Well
that.
done.
Anyways, last week we got 78 points, guys. I don't know what the total possible is, but that's much less than 124. The good news is we only gave out 3 appetizers.
Good job, us. Yay. Goon squad.
So like there was nobody else. There was like two people in the 80s and one person had 79 and we had 78. So good showing, even though it wasn't a very good showing. You know, it's kind of like we grade on a curve. So very good times there. Frank, all of the ties that we lost were your fault.
Yep. All of them.
Every single fucking one.
And I'm like, oh wow, this isn't good.
We were actually making comments on that at the game too.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck? There's another T.
Yeah. Frank got that one wrong.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that score. What did he pick again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
So we are going to pick the games, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, if you are unfamiliar with how this bit goes, this is Pew Pew Pick'em. We do this every week for the NFL season. A Diggs BTW7. We'll just call you Diggsy.
What's up?
Appreciate you listening in, man. You're just getting to the
checking us out on
picks.
Twitch.
What we do right now, guys, is we are going to pick the games. Matt and Frank get both shots first. What I do is I give the names of the teams, the location of the game, and the current NFL odds. The odds are, of course, by MGM. So MGM, if you want to, kick us some money, we'd appreciate that because we all bet MGM.
Yeah, we'll just turn right around and spend it on your site. So come
Right. I mean, just give us free credits. We'll just
right. We'll just
it's
take
all
that.
good, man. Bet MGM, guys. Anyways, each of the gentlemen will get 8 seconds to give their reasoning why and the winner of each game. If you don't get it in, we just make fun of you. It doesn't happen much. I lost the thing, so I had to turn it back on. So yeah, that's how we play. If there are any ties, I break the tie. It's always fun having somebody else on because they can break the tie. Michaela would have been fun to have this with because she's a nincompoop. But anyway, so we're going to get this rolling and talk about rolling. The Broncos are rolling on over to Kansas City to play the Chiefs, who are currently favored by 10.5. I think we all know who's going to win the game. I've thought about asking about the cover or no, but I'm just going to go straight up. Let's go with some Broncos fans here. What do you guys think of the game? Matt, we'll start with you. Go.
Chiefs win easy.
Okay. Do they cover?
Yeah.
Okay. Frank, go.
As ineffective as their offense has been, I do not see this game being different than the last 16. Chiefs win.
All right. Yeah, I'm definitely going with you, and I think the Chiefs roll by 20 plus. I think that a lot of the players will get, a couple little bit more things hearing about them, and they're just going to take the game off so that they don't get hurt. Because I think people are getting moved right after this game. Next game on the docket is the Baltimore Ravens are going into Tennessee to take on the Titans. And the Ravens on the road are favored by 4 points. Frank, go ahead.
That makes sense. The Ravens are a better team. I think they should win this and cover.
Matt, go ahead.
Agreed. Ravens win.
Ryan Tannehill money. Let's just all remember that, shall we? Going with you guys on that.
He's one of the future landing spots of Russ Wilson, potentially.
It is Ryan Tannehill money, guys. Next game on the docket, the Lions are going on the road. They're going to go down to Baker country. Baker's Buccaneers are 3-point dogs at home. Lions are favored by 3 on the road in Tampa Bay. Matt, go ahead.
Baker Mayfield is trash. Lions win.
I love that take.
Jesus.
I love that take every time. Every fucking time. It's so good. Frank, go.
Baker's having a decent season, but Detroit is a better team. They should win this.
I completely agree. Baker seems to be winning some games in Tampa, but I think people are just still in the holy shit Baker Mayfield phase. That division is trash. The Lions are a legit team this year. Next game on the docket, speaking of this one's ugly. We're talking about another Florida game where in Miami, the Carolina Panthers will go visit, and the Dolphins are favored by almost 2 touchdowns, 13.5. Frank, go ahead.
This has got to be a Dolphins, and yeah, I think they cover. Jesus. I mean, they're going to roll this fucking team.
Matt, go ahead.
Dolphins are going to win, but they're not going to cover. Not having HN is going to take something off of their offensive output.
I agree. I don't think that they're going to cover, but the Dolphins are going to roll here by, a touchdown plus. I think it's going to be a 10-point game. All right. The next one is going to be an NFC South showdown. Showdown. It's another game in Florida, boys. We're in Jacksonville, where the Jaguars are favored by 4 over Indianapolis. Matt, go.
This one's too easy. No Anthony Richardson. Jags win easy.
Frank?
I think Gardner is a decent replacement, but the athleticism's not there. Jacksonville's going to win this.
Yeah, if Anthony Richardson's not going there, the Colts are going to lose every game. I love Gardner Minshew, but he had his chance to start a team. This is not going to be one that he gets a favor of. And the Jaguars are great at home.
Game, though.
Jaguars are great at home, too. So, weirdly enough. The next game is in NFC North showdown. You've got the Bears in Chicago bringing in the Minnesota Vikings, who are favored by 2.5 on the road in Chicago. Matt, go ahead.
What?
Gotta be the Bears, doesn't it? Yes.
Whose money is coming in on this game that Minnesota is still favored?
I mean, I can recheck that real quick. I may have made a mistake, but I thought I got that one right.
I'm seeing that too. 2.5.
Okay. I was confused by that one, and there have been some bad spreads, but this one seemed ridiculous to me. But Matt, who did you say?
Fucking weapons. It's the Bears. The
Bears.
Matt,
did you say Bears too?
I said the Bears.
Okay, cool. We're both in agreement on that. Easy money. The Vikings are not going to cover. They're not going to win by 3 points. Next game. Talk about some bullshit here. You've got the New Orleans Saints, who are going on the road to Houston, Texas, to take them Texans on. The Texans at home are 1.5-point dogs to the Saints. So Saints favored by 1.5. Frank, go.
I'm going to go with the Texans, win a home game.
Matt?
Derek Carr, veteran leader. Saints are going to win this one.
Oh, boy. So I got to write a T here, and I got to write a K on this one. T is for Tank. K is for King Goon. And then I have to make a decision here. Do the Saints go on the road and defeat the Texans and whatever they've got going on down there? Oh.
You notice how he never gives himself 8 seconds?
It's my fucking bit.
Just
You'll
calling
get
out
2 seconds next time.
Calling out hypocrisy when I see it.
That's fair. It's still my fucking bit. I'm going to take the Saints on the road in this one, guys. That's where I'm going to lead. That's a hard one. It's you could go either way on that one, but
the last 2 words. Yeah.
The Seahawks from Seattle are flying over to Cincinnati to get some of that Cincinnati 5-way with the chili and the cheese and the scatty. And the Bengals are favored by 2.5 of this one at home. Frank?
I think Cincinnati's finally putting their offense together. I'm going to take them at home.
Was last week a get-right game for the Bengals, and does it continue, Matt?
No T. Higgins, no problem. Cincinnati wins.
I completely and wholeheartedly agree with both of you. Fuck
I have
them
a big
Hawks.
fucking problem with no T. Higgins. That'd be another one of my players.
Nobody cares
I fucking care.
your
I lost 3 players in 1 week.
team.
It's still a
Cry me
fun bit.
river.
49ers are going on the road to Cleveland. I don't think we even need to talk about this one because I think, as we all discussed last week, Cleveland is trash. And until they get rid of that fucking worthless quarterback who's probably not even going to play this week, we're rooting against them actively. Correct, boys?
Correct.
Well,
Okay.
just how unstoppable are the Niners right now?
The Niners are only favored by a touchdown on the road. Give me the Niners
Yeah,
and give me the
wild to me.
touchdown.
Yeah,
And
hammer
give me the 7
lock
points.
that one. Give me the
Yeah.
7.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. And they don't even have a pretend real fucking quarterback in fucking Cleveland. Fuck the Browns.
I'll give
Fuck
more
'em.
points. I'd take 10 on that one.
I try not to take
Over
sides in this one, but anytime the Browns are involved, until that bastard is gone, I'm just going to root against them actively and atrociously hard. Almost like I hate the Raiders. It's that level of hate for the Cleveland Browns right now. Fuck them. Anyways, next game, the Washington Commanders are going on the road to Atlanta. I live for that reaction every time. The Washington Commanders are going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons are at home, favored by 2.5, boys. Matt, go ahead.
Give me the Falcons at home.
Sweet. And Frank, go ahead.
I'm going with the Falcons also. I think this is another potential landing spot for Russ Wilson, actually.
Atlanta?
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
a
they
really
need
good run team,
Yeah.
decent defense that's really young. That'd be a good
Yeah.
place for him.
Washington was exposed last week, and as we know, they didn't name the team right the second or the first time. So they're really missing an opportunity with the Washington. Luigi's. The next game, New England, the Patriots are going across to their former Booze new home, where Tom Brady is part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are at home and favored by 3 in this one. Patriots at Raiders. Raiders ahead by 3. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. I'm not even going to run the clock on this one. Go ahead, Frank.
God, it's so difficult. The Patriots have 0 fucking talent on that team. None. They have none. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. But the Raiders are also dog shit and have a dumbass for a coach. So, Patriots somehow. Special
Also,
teams.
not to mention, this is Belichick versus his boo. Matt, what do you think?
McDumbass seems to do well against Belichick, and Mac Jones is trash. Give me the Raiders.
I knew the Mac Jones' trash was going to
Yeah, pick against me, by the way, on this.
Yeah, I'm definitely I'm circling the Raiders, but my heart is with the Patriots on this one because I hate the Raiders. So there's a little heart above the Patriots on here. You can
I hate
By the
them
way,
all.
I don't even want a T next to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a T here too. Okay, right. Anyways, next game. The Cardinals are getting out of the desert, which is good for them. They're going to what? This is weird. Both of these teams have left St. Louis before. They're taking on the Los Angeles Rams, who are favored by 7 at home against the miserable Cardinals. Matt, tell me what you got on this one.
Matt Stafford is better than Josh Dobbs. Give me the Rams at home.
Frank?
Yeah, better talent on the Rams. I think they get this one.
I agree.
I don't
And I
know
think
if they
they're
covered,
going
though. weirdly
I
enough.
think they would cover at home. That's the only reason is because they're at home. And the Cardinals are just trash.
They're chippy,
This is actually an interesting game for me now, just based off of the way the season has gone. The Philadelphia Eagles are on the road in New York, taking on the Jets, who obviously beat the crap out of us without doing much on offense except for rushing the ball down our fucking throats for 4 quarters atrociously. The Eagles are on the road favored by 7 points. So they've got a touchdown in New York. Who wins this one, Frank?
Nathaniel Hackett gets exposed for the fraud that he is again. Eagles win.
Do they cover?
Yes.
Matt?
Second best team in the NFC wins easily here.
I completely agree. I don't think this one's even close. I think it's a 2-touchdown. 7 is little for me.
They're going to score 3 tush-push touchdowns. Watch.
They could just keep doing that the whole time. Nobody stopped them.
Oh, you heard the cloud of dust.
No, that's the tush push. It's the fucking. I was trying to explain how
no.
that was a rugby scrum thing to people,
Mhm.
and they were just like, "Yeah, never mind. Just forget I asked." Okay, never mind. The New York Trash Giants are going to Buffalo, going upstate, and they're going to take on the Buffalo Bills, who are in upstate New York, and this is a 14-point favor for the Buffalo Bills. And I don't think that number is big enough. Do you, Matt?
No. No Danny Dimes, all of the problems. This could be a 30-point game.
Frank, are you going to defend your former boy?
Fuck no. And he's not playing anyway. So
Right. He's got literally no hill. There's no hill to plant his flag on for this one.
they are going to miss Milano, I think, but I don't think that's going to be a big enough impact to change this game.
Guys, we've only got 2 ties so far with 1 game left, and I don't think this one's going to be out of control either. The Cowboys, who just got road stomped, are going on the road to face a low-life opponent in the Chargers, who have a quarterback and seemingly nothing else and never a good coaching staff for whatever reason. The Cowboys are favored by 2.5 on the road after being curb stomped and put away wet by the 49ers. Matt, go.
What? Curb stomped and put away wet? Way to mix your metaphors.
No, I did that on purpose.
I see that.
I think they
restart the clock.
I think that they enjoyed the curb stomping that they got and were happy about it. Matt, tell me about this game.
The Chargers have more talent than you think. Dallas can't beat anything better than a below-average football team. This is going to be the Chargers at home.
Frank?
I think that the Chargers are bad enough on defense that Dak is going to look like a superstar for a game again.
So you got the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. We'll put a T here and a K there. Holy shit. This is another hard one, guys. I'm just going to go with Frank on this one because I feel bad for going against him all those times last time.
I wouldn't, man. Last week.
Okay, you just talked me out of going with you on that. We're going with the
Chargers. I'm like New England on this one. Like, I'm just
all right, boys.
Apparently, I don't know what to do.
That appears to be all of the games this week. You have picked them. Please do not use our information as your only financial means of gains. And if you do that, you're probably one of us. Anyways, carry on.
All right, good job, Mark. Thanks. That was Pew Pew Pick'em.
Pew pew.
Moving on to news and notes in Major League Baseball. Mark, you're going to have to drive this one too because I quit paying attention to baseball when football starts, except when it's on, and it looks like LA's in big trouble. They're down 4-0 in a 2-0 series.
Yeah.
And
they're done.
Arizona.
The only series that's really interesting is really that Philly Braves series, which I am shocked that Philly is in this one. Philly has really come on strong late in the season, and if they get past the Braves, watch out. There's nobody else that can touch them. I had, before the season, picked the Braves to win this thing. I still see the Braves being the best team, really, honestly. I know that there's a lot of power between the 2 Texas teams, but I really see the Braves as the strongest team. And if they get beat by the Phillies, this is just the next one hottest. You know, we see this in baseball and in hockey all the time where the hottest team is the one that wins. I do want to point out that 3 of the 5 teams in the American League East made the postseason. 3 of them, which means 2 of them did not. The Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. The other 3 teams that made the playoffs have as many wins in this playoffs as the other two. There wasn't a win for the American League East this postseason. They all got swept.
Yeah, Orioles got rolled.
The Orioles got rolled. The
Rangers.
Tampa Bay looked like they had never played baseball this year after starting so hot and just, kind of sticking with it all year and really having to push through to get to there. They just rolled over. And we all knew the Blue Jays weren't going to do anything, so I'm not shocked there. But not a win for the American League East this season in the postseason. I think that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And the Astros just blasted their way through the Twins. That series is over now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're 100% right about the Phillies, man. Their bats are lighting up right now. Tonight, they just went yard on the Braves.
And their pitching is clutch. They have the right talent at the right time, and they know they just seem like that team that just comes out of nowhere and wins it, And if they put the Braves to bed, watch out everybody else.
Well, yeah, Harper and Castellanos both had two rips, and so did who was it? Turner had one.
I will never be able to take Nick Castellanos serious.
He
I love the man. He's looked great all year.
He's a great player, but
every time
someone has to apologize for something.
True.
I consider myself a man of faith. And there's a long drive by Castellanos. I don't know if I'll ever be behind this microphone again. As he's rounding third and now touches home, the Phillies are ahead 3-0. It's so good.
And he never put his hand on the microphone ever again.
He never did.
What an asshole.
And the funny thing is that's happened to Castellanos twice.
At least twice that we know of.
Right.
At least twice that we know
Legend of Nick.
He's so good. Anyways, no, but I'm with you. The Phillies are dangerous. And if they get past the Braves, watch out.
Yep.
Watch out.
And yeah, the Dodgers are just getting fucking rolled by the Diamondbacks, which does not really make a lot of sense. But when you see what happened with Diamondbacks late in the season and their pitching kind of showed up finally, that's how they're beating them. They're closing the Dodgers out with very little run support for the Dodgers.
Yeah, and the Dodgers have always been put together kind of like the Yankees were in the late 90s where it's, all the money, but how well does the team gel with all that cash? It very rarely works. As a Red Sox fan, I know that because we've seen it as Red Sox fans where
you guys tried to buy a couple World Series.
Trevor Story, we see these pieces fall into place. So you never know how the team is going to gel, and you have to have the right mix of guys in the locker room to make a postseason. And you see that with what the Diamondbacks have been able to put together in the last half of the year in the postseason so far.
Yeah.
Any other news to talk about in Major League Baseball, Mark?
Not a goddamn thing.
All right, good. Let's move on to the
Monarchs are still assholes.
That's a given.
That hasn't changed.
That hasn't changed. Let's move on to the NHL, and they have finally dropped the puck on the regular season.
Woo!
Games last night. Colorado, I think, dropped the puck
probably like 12 minutes ago.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they were
waiting for 8:05, I think.
Yeah, they were waiting for the game before to get over. But before we get into the news of the NHL, we do need to mention that longtime ESPN analyst, famed mullet, one-time coach of the LA Kings, took them to the Stanley Cup Finals in 1992 with lost to Patrick Waugh. Barry Melrose has announced that he has Parkinson's and is going to retire from ESPN after a 30-year career behind the microphone there. One of the smartest hockey minds that there is. I, for one, will miss his ability just to break down film and talk about it in a way that you don't have to be a hockey nerd to interpret. It was really good at bringing hockey to the masses. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. I thought you were done. To me, he will always be my comparison of somebody who makes the game approachable like John Madden did for football in the 90s. Melrose was that guy. They could put him in front of the microphone, and he's just got that Canadian nicety to him. He's just such a swell dude, and he was always so dapperly dressed, and always had the hair slicked back, and he just seemed so approachable. He had that one run with the Kings. After that, they kept trying to get him back into coaching, and it went awfully every single time. But watching him break down hockey and watching him break down like fashion and stuff too, he did a lot of other things, and they had him do like football takes and that kind of fun stuff. He had a soothing voice, and it was very interesting to hear everything he had to say, because you knew his opinions were his own and nobody was going to stop what was coming out of his mouth. It wasn't going to be controversial, but it was going to be fun. And we'll miss that. Well, ESPN will miss that. That was a big part of what they did. So,
Yep. Tank.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's unfortunate, but hopefully the suffering's not too dramatic, and he can get his health in check. And maybe there's a chance at some point he comes back, but it's just unfortunate news.
Yeah, for sure. So, lots of warm feelings sent your way, Barry.
Yeah, man.
Certainly miss you on the small screen. Spend much quality time with your family as you can, for sure.
Absolutely.
Leading into today's game, and it doesn't look like they've actually started that game yet.
They have not.
Yeah, Sarah is flipping through, and they were interviewing a Kings player on the ice. He didn't look like he had played, so he's in his gear, but he's not real sweaty.
He doesn't have that
no,
look.
yeah. Well, you can actually see the hockey stench just coming off of the pad. There's no stink hockey pad stink.
Scratch and sniff your TV for that smell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
But the Abs did add a little bit of depth to their blue line, bringing in Caleb Jones, the lesser known of the Jones brothers, to add a little bit of depth to the defensive side.
Triffin.
What? Are we getting? Oh, I didn't get anything.
Triffin, yeah, I am losing a little bit of weight, but I'm definitely not putting on a new filter. I love you, buddy.
Triffin's got a text.
We love you, buddy.
All right. He's an okay addition, but they did need another stick back there. So there you go.
They also added Druin and
Tater
and Tatar.
Tater.
You got a Makar and a Tatar.
But we need the defense, so I'm good with that.
Oh, absolutely.
One.
Yeah,
sure.
I think they made great moves to make their depth more depthy. And, by the time until hopefully they can, it's going to be good for them this year. And as Peyton Manning said on Monday, Vegas is only borrowing the cup this year. They got to give it back to Denver at the end of the year.
There you go.
Peyton said that on the Manning cast. I don't know if you caught that.
I did not.
I'll see if I can find the clip and send it to you.
Right.
It's pretty cute.
Nice. Oh, I was in Nashville. Couldn't watch the game. That's why I didn't see it. There you go. All right. Let's move on to, I really wanted to throw more of this over to MJ, but she dipped out. So we're just going to gloss over hockey. She's our hockey expert. College football, CU's lost a close one against USC, then came back to win against U of A. First, guys, I want to touch on USC. They look like they've got some issues as an undefeated, don't they?
They look beatable, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw that defense kind of fall apart. And they don't seem to have the protection that they would like around their stud quarterback.
Which is weird because they're supposed to have one of the better lines in college football. So,
and CU has one of the worst interiors on the defense in college football. They looked terrible. That was back when I had hopes that Caleb Williams could be a Denver Broncos quarterback.
Right.
Those hopes have been dashed by the Bears.
Dashed. They were dashed
2 weeks ago.
Damn it. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to seeing a USC Oregon game because I think that's going to tell us a lot about both of those programs. At this point, I think Oregon crushes them, but who knows? They could.
Agreed.
Some more rumblings around the future status of one Shedeur Sanders. Gentlemen, simple yes or no. Do you think he sticks around for 2024?
Yes.
I haven't heard any of this stuff, but I'm going to say he does. He's enjoying the ride too much.
I'm going to give him one more year, and if he turns the stats that he's doing into 2 years worth, that's a top 5 pick in the NFL draft.
Number one pick.
That's a number one pick.
The only reason I think he holds on is because he's currently not the number one rated quarterback. There's one guy in front of him right now.
Yep.
He was just talking about him.
Yeah,
he looks
really good.
extraordinarily good.
Yeah, he looked amazing versus Arizona.
Yeah. Yep. What were we going to talk about? Oh, so
Coach Prime is not happy.
Yeah, Coach Prime not happy. So he came out in his presser and said, "I'm happy with the win. I am mad about our performance." Good stuff to hear from the coach, don't you think?
He sounds like a coach.
Yeah.
Oh, and it makes sense. He expects more out of the offense than they gave. That's the biggest thing.
That's exactly what you want a coach to say, right? I'm glad we won. We're not done improving. We still have shit we got to work on.
Right.
We're not perfect. That's what you want a coach to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Good
The
coach
work's
speak.
not done. Good coach speak, and the coach is continuing to bring in talent that is not a panda bear. They locked down another 5-star edge rusher yesterday. I forget
And a quarterback?
his name. The quarterback's coming to
reason?
the quarterback's coming to visit. So they had the number 1 2024 quarterback in for the USC game, and the number 1 2025 quarterback is coming in for the Stanford game.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that
Neat.
looks. I mean, it's all about recruiting, right? And
that recruiting class is looking better and better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we may get Travis back this week
that'll be good.
against Stanford.
They're gonna need him because the last game and the next two are the ones you have to win if you ever have a hope of going to a bowl game this year, because the schedule then is going to get harder, and you've got to be able to win the games you should win.
That just reminds me. I think I want to bet on that already.
That UCLA game or the Stanford game?
The Arizona State game, because wasn't that their 4th win?
Oh yeah, anybody who took 3.5
Yep,
won.
That was me. That's what I'm saying. I
Me
didn't
too.
even realize I won the game already.
Yep,
That's
I won
the
that one.
3.5, Yep.
Yep, they covered the 3.5. Thank you, Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, anything else about the Buffaloes, fellas?
No, they're looking good, and God, good recruiting. I think they're going to be dangerous for a couple of years here if
Agreed.
Prime sticks around.
They're going to be dangerous
Agreed.
as long as Dion's running the show.
Yeah,
because nobody recruits like that guy.
No.
It's unbelievable the way he's been able to turn that roster over, and has turned the entire college football world on its head through use of 1, recruiting, and 2, the transfer portal, and just completely changed the roster. So good on him. Keep it up.
11.5-point favorites against Stanford for Friday night.
That's a big number.
That's a big number, but they can do it. They can do it.
Yeah, Stanford's not that great.
No, they're 1-4, I think.
Yeah, they're bad.
All right, moving
They're
on.
they're like, thank God we have baseball bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Moving on to the National Basketball Association preseason tipped off yesterday. The Nuggets got underway. I didn't pay attention. I just know that they played. However,
they won.
I think they did too, but again, it's preseason.
They did. It was a good showing against the Suns.
Who honestly cares about the score? You just want to make sure they get sharp and stay healthy. But we do also have sad news here. If you haven't heard, Coach Michael Malone's father, Brendan, who was a noted basketball coach in his own right, passed away. Coach wasn't at the game on yesterday. Adelman took over as head coach, so Michael Malone could be with his family. So our thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to the Malone family.
Yeah, no kidding. That's always tough. That sucks.
Yeah. And aside from that, we don't have any other news in. Oh, I guess there's one other thing. It's not really a big deal. unless you care. But Joel Embiid is now said he is going to play for the United States in the Olympics instead of his native Cameroon.
That's wild.
Can't beat him, join him.
I mean, that's good for the U.S., I guess.
You can't beat him, join him.
Right. I think he sees the writing on the wall. Like you can tell this is a super team that's coming together. He wants to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that's it. Yeah.
Right. So the question is, who starts at 5? Is it Embiid?
It would have to be, right?
Yeah, I think so.
If he's part of the U.S. team, he'd be the number 1 there.
Yeah, I can't think of another one that would be on that dream team type of team that would be that guy.
The only other person,
other teams.
Well, the only other person that you can think of, because it's LeBron's team he's putting together, is his teammate currently. But
oh god, which he might make the team.
Just saying, that's that's another superstar, quote unquote 5. So
true. Guess we'll
It'd
see
be
what happens.
stupid to put Davis ahead of Embiid. Just gonna say that.
Yeah, right. But he's at this point in his career, he's a much better player.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's it for the cast. Let's move into our second favorite bit, dipshits of the week. Mark, are you searching for one, or do I need to go over to Tank?
No, I've got one. I was just trying to find the clip that I found earlier to send you guys about it, because I don't think I sent it.
I'm wondering if it's the same one I have. Who is it?
There we go. Found it. I am sending it in the group right now. Boop. It's political, but not. Tommy Tuberville made an ass out of himself because a couple weeks ago they were talking about Biden's trip to Europe, and he said something about, I can't wait for the guy to fall over. He was leaving his plane this afternoon and took every stair to the ass on the way down the fucking jet.
Hilarious.
That man used to be a football coach.
Oh, every
single one.
It's every single. Well, and you didn't hear the music. You got to hear the music in that clip. That specific clip I sent you, because they do the do.
Oh yeah, yeah. They give you the drum line for.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Wait for it. And it's the actual noises.
Oh, that's funny.
So cheers, Tommy Tuberville. Way to not be able to walk.
Fucking moron.
Tank. What was that?
What the hell? Tank just fell into the void.
Yeah.
Holy shit! And now he's muted. Oh no! Are you there?
Am I good?
Yeah. Okay, you're good.
Okay.
Tank! Oh god!
I accidentally stepped on my mic cable and ripped it right the hell out.
Your camera disappeared too.
Yeah. Yeah. It just gave us a.
All right, we're good now.
Tank just fell in the abyss. No.
Right.
Mine is college football related also. Mine is Mario Cristobal.
Oh, that was mine. Go ahead.
With one of
somebody
my
was going to
actually
take it.
sadly favorite teams, the Miami Hurricanes. This downfall has got to fucking stop. And Mario Cristobal decided to not take a fucking knee on the final play of the game. And Georgia Tech turned that into a fumble recovery for touchdown. And that guy's a dipshit.
Well, and it gets even better. They recovered the fumble and then threw like an 80-yard pass.
Yeah. It was stupid.
Yeah. And apparently that's his MO. He doesn't take knees. Like, what do you do?
What the fuck? You are going to win the game if you take the knee.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point in running up the score. You're not doing well for a team that should be doing a lot better than they are. And to choke a game away in that just sad ass manner is reprehensible.
As a coach, what would be the positives? And this is a genuine question for both of you. What are the positives to teaching that kind of behavior? Is it just like we only raise killers, or what is the positive message that you're trying to send by not like going victory formation and taking the win?
I cannot think of one.
The mentality seemingly behind that would be to never let your foot off the gas. But when you're literally one play away from winning the game and all you have to do is take a knee, there's no reason to put your fucking foot on the gas.
I feel like the best way to teach young men to win is to give them something to look forward to at the end of the game, a la taking a knee, where it's just like, haha, rub it in your face without rubbing it in your face. Like that is a rub it in your face moment, right?
Mhm.
Why would you take that away from these kids? That is the dumbest shit. Every time I hear about that, that's so fucking stupid.
Agreed.
I don't get it.
There's no reason for
No
it.
one does. That was
Right.
fucking aggressively stupid.
How do you get to be a coach at that level with that philosophy and your team is bought in on it?
All questions that I can't answer.
They're
Yeah,
good
they have a
questions
tough
though, right?
opponent.
No, they are very good questions.
Yeah.
And I hope someone in the Miami media is asking those questions, because that's just a level of stupidity that I don't know that I've ever seen.
That's worse than Josh McDaniels bad.
Yeah, they went from undefeated and being ranked into a good matchup this week with UNC to they lost their only game in the conference so far, and they're now 10th in the ACC. That's fucking why.
Right.
Meanwhile, you're hemorrhaging fucking recruits to Alabama and
Yeah.
Colorado and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they lost one because of that game. Didn't they lose like a defensive tackle or something like that? He's like, what the fuck? And he decided to no-show for his recruiting visit, apparently.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So that's not a good sign.
I am no fan of Miami, and this kind of thing just warms my heart. I get it sometimes, like, and it's not ever at this high level. So I consume a lot of football, and a lot of the football that I watch is youth football. And when I'm on the sidelines as the president of our association, sometimes I have to remind a coach, hey, coach, you only have about 45 seconds left. Just go down, because they're in it. They're not really looking, not really paying attention. And he's a volunteer. This man is paid millions of dollars, and it's football 101 for a high level coach that's your job.
I believe he is the highest paid coach in the state of Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
Jesus Christ. How do you get to that position doing this kind of shit?
He was a bad hire from the beginning, so I
Mhm.
don't know.
No, absolutely. Well, good. That
blows
you
my
know,
fucking mind.
he can just be my dipshit too. Fuck him. He gets double dipshit duty. As far as
That's happened a few times. It hasn't happened in a while though. I think that might
Right.
be the first double dipshit that we've had since we started doing lives.
maybe.
We've also had the double dipshit where it's the same person on different weeks.
No, that's been a
Mhm.
couple times, yeah.
Kyle
Yeah,
Keith.
that's happening. What do you think? Defensive is important.
He fucking puzzled that shit the wrong way together and forgot to add a verb.
Yeah.
that was a brain jumble that just spilled out of his mouth.
I have to provide context now.
Oh,
Shot score. There we go. Abs just
All
scored.
right.
Shoot lanes open makes my job pretty easy.
About the importance of this game. You guys had lost in Minnesota, Calgary, right there in second place in the West. How much importance was defensively for you here tonight?
Yeah, we just want to keep going.
what a wild fucking mouthful of nonsense.
And the fact that he didn't, the athlete just didn't look at him and
Went
go,
straight into coach speak shenanigans. Just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think that defense is important for us, and it was a fun.
He did not listen to the fucking question
No.
being asked.
And if you
No.
look at him, he's not even listening at all. He's literally zoned and looking like that and waiting for the guy to stop talking because he heard the keyword defense and that's it. That's
Yeah,
all he
right.
heard. He was like, all right, ready for cliches, ready
Yeah,
for
prepackaged statement on the ready.
yep. Should have given him the old Joker. What?
it.
There's a parade.
There's a parade.
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see Media Day? I mean, we talked about it, I think, but just to talk about it a little bit more, the Joker questions they're asking him. Was this the best summer ever because you won a championship? No, we played for a month and a half extra. I love him so much.
Oh, so good. So good. All right. Well, let's kick it around and do final thoughts, pimping the things. Tank, start with you.
Yeah, you can obviously find me here every week and on the NTK podcast every other week and on Idiot Scramble at least once a week. And soon our own YouTube channel. We would have been live on it yet, but we do not have the authority to go live yet. Apparently you have to apply to do that. And so that application is in standing right now, and we'll be live on there next time we meet up on this podcast. Besides that, you can find me at Tank Knox or Knox Nostalgic Collectibles on all of the socials.
Mark?
Yeah, looking forward to this weekend. Big weekend for us, myself and the missus. You know, Duchess Bobby, who joins us on the other podcast, runs it for us and does an awesome job. We got married almost a year ago today. Today is the 11th, so we've got 4 days till that. So we're going up to the mountains. We got an Airbnb Airstream, like one of those big fucking things with the stuff in it, and it's in the middle of Conifer, in the middle of the woods. And we're just going to crash out there in the middle of the woods in a big fucking trailer. And it's going to be awesome. Just the two of us and the dog for the weekend. So nice. First anniversary for us. We're pretty excited about it. So
hell yeah. Sounds like a good time. There you go.
That's pretty much all I got.
That's it?
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Well, like Tank mentioned, you can find us on the opposite weeks on the Nerds That Know right here on this very station. Haha. I don't know.
Close.
Close. Just trying it on.
How did it sound?
Not very
good.
Didn't. Same bat time, same bat channel.
It seemed very forced.
Yeah, it was pretty forced. But you can reach us on all of our socials. You can find My Brother's an Idiot on Facebook. Just search for that. Find the black logo. Click the link and we'll let you in. Mark's Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok are all at Poffle Time. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Puffalopagus, and my TikTok's at King Goon Smoke. And there's that fucking bear again.
His name's Pierre. Oh. At least he's not Gene Mingo.
That was forced.
We hadn't gotten to him yet.
I know we hadn't. I thought Milty for sure was going to throw it.
I know. I was waiting for it. Once he didn't do it, I had to go AWOL.
Right.
Like I don't go AWOL anyways, but
right. Well, for all of the gang, especially Milty and Dipshit in NOLA, it was nice having them on the cast today. For stop it. For Tank and for Mark, Milty and Dipshit. Make sure you take care of yourselves, take care of your families, take care of each other. This has been My Brother